everybody. Happy Friday night. Welcome to my Zen Den. I am so very happy that you could join me tonight. My name is Mandy VanHavermaet, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up from Gray Eagle, Minnesota. So tonight I kind of decided to take a shift from Christmas cards, and Christmas projects, and I decided to dig into a treasure trove. I actually got a card from, I was going through some cards that I found a card from my upline, and it made me think of these dies, the rustic icon dies, rugged icon dies, sorry. And I love them, and they are so hidden in the annual catalog that I really think they get overlooked, and they make the coolest masculine cards, and they're really simple. And I'm going to show you the trick to using them. And the trick to using them is to use adhesive sheets. So I am going to flip my camera around. We're going to get stamping, and then I'm going to show you some cards, some other cards that I've made and some cards that I've gotten using the rugged icon dies. So let's flip the camera around and get cracking at some stamping. Hold on one second. All right. Be patient with my flipping here. All right. Oh, I'm not there yet because I'm tipped funny. There we go. I'm happier now. And it's all about me being happy with my camera placement, right? Okay. It's actually more about me being able to show you what I want to do. Okay. So these are the rugged icon dies. And they are so stinking cool. I just love them. And the only place, there's a couple places that they're hidden inside the catalog. Let me show you. They are in the back on page 174 of the annual catalog. And it does show them in use on page 82. But I think they just tend to get overlooked. This is all that you see in the catalog with them. So I'm going to show you a couple of stamps tonight, or a couple of cards tonight, excuse me, and then I'll show you a couple other ideas too with them. So let's get stamping. First card, here's what we're going to need, and I'm going to do my best not to cover that up. So we are going to need a piece of evening evergreen cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and of course that's scored down the middle at 4 1/4. We're going to need 2 pieces of Very Vanilla, both of them cut at 4 by 5 1/4. This one I've already embossed with the Merry Melodies embossing folder, so you can see that there's musical notes. I'm going to use the guitar on this card, right? Super pretty. I love that embossing folder. And then you're going to need a piece of gold foil that's cut at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. A piece of Early Espresso cut at 3.5 by 3.5. And then here's our piece of adhesive sheet. And this, I'm going to tell you, is the old, we used to carry these along a while back. And when we carried them, I bought so many packs of adhesive sheets because I was so sad that they were going away. The new ones are just as good as my old ones. So adhesive sheets, they're in the catalog and they're fantastic. And then I've got a piece of Very Vanilla, that's just a 1/2 inch strip that I'm going to use for my embellishment, or my happy birthday. I can't even think of what I'm trying to say. I have to grab a quick sponge dauber. No, I don't. Here, I've got one. And I'm going to use a sponge dauber also. And I will show you what I'm going to do with that. Weston, can you find the Evening Evergreen ink pad that's in that tote right there?
Evening Evergreen?
Yep, it's down there in one of those clear shoebox totes. Oh. Dig. Sorry, I forgot to grab my ink pad, and my son is here, and he's going to help me. He's coming to save my day.
Unwillingly.
Unwillingly, he says. So I'm going to fold and burnish right there, in that one. Yep.
This one?
Yep, the one with your right hand on it. There's an ink pad. It's dark green. Ink pad.
Oh.
Your hand is on it. That's the one. You're so good at this. You could stamp. Okay, I'm going to use an Evening Evergreen ink pad. Okay, we're going to fold and burnish this card base and set that aside. The reason I've got a sponge dauber and I've got some soft suede ink here. I'm just going to, boy, apparently I'm not prepared today. I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper. I'm going to start off and I'm just going to lightly go over the musical notes with this. It's going to bring them out just a little bit. It's going to distress it a little bit. Doesn't have to be too hard. Doesn't have to be too tough. And it's not, there's no science behind it. Okay. And I'm just doing the outside because the center is going to be covered. So that really kind of makes it look old, doesn't it? Isn't that kind of fun? That's all I'm going to do with my soft suede ink. Okay. So I can get rid of that. I'm going to adhere this down onto my card base. I've had one of those days where it's like, oh, squirrel. And I literally went to go get this ink pad out of my card kits. I've got a couple of I've got one more class coming up this coming week. I really, I got up to get this ink pad out, I think about 3 times, and I still didn't do it. That's the day I've been having. Okay, so I'm going to just set this aside for a second because we are going to do some cutting. I'm going to take my guitar die out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this adhesive sheet on the back of the gold. And the adhesive sheet, if you're not familiar with them, what it is 2 pieces of really like sticker backing, right? In between a really, really thin piece of adhesive. And this is, it really is a neat thing. I've used it recently, a lot of it, as on the back of vellum. Because it kind of, you know, vellum is hard to hide your adhesive. If you use the adhesive sheets, it's solid, so it kind of hides it. So what we're going to do is, this looks like I'm wasting this gold, but I'm not going to. I am going to cut my guitar out of the middle of my gold piece, and then I'm going to layer the dark brown, the early espresso, over top, so you won't be able to see it. So let's cut out my guitar. So we've got my plates here, and I'm going to show you my sandwich. So I'm going to, it says right here how to use with thin dies. These are considered thin dies. So we take our plate number 1, our plate number 2, and then 2 plate number 3s. And it's best to keep flip-flopping these, right? So that's why it's upside down. And you keep flip-flopping them so that they wear a little easier, or more even, I'm sorry. And so then I've got my top plate here, my other plate number 3. So I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. And this is really a pretty quick card. Not too tough of a card. So take and set that aside. So I've got my gold piece here, and I've got my dies. And if you want to save these middle pieces and do like, use them as the inside, like cut out another guitar and put these on the inside of this outline, that might be a cool thing to do too. So until you know you don't want them anymore, don't throw them away. Don't throw things away, right? Put that back in there. How about we take that out? There we go. Okay, so let's do some building here. Going to attach this right on top, and this is a really, really cool, this is going to be a birthday card, and it'll be a really neat birthday card for a guy that likes music, right? So we're going to put that right on like that. Isn't that looks so rich? I love that. So then our backing just peels right off. So now this is a sticker. The adhesive is already on there. You don't get any mess like you would normally get with like a glue pen or anything like that. So really, really cool, right? It's stuck. It's not coming off. I love adhesive sheets. Love, love, love. And with this set of dies, they're almost a necessity. So let's see. Now you can't see that hole in the back, right? Isn't that cool? So if you wanted to, you could peel that adhesive sheet off and stick that right down. In fact, you know what? I might just do that. Let's do that. Because I've got the adhesive. Why waste it, huh? There we go. And of course, it's just like any other sticker. You just have to get the edge. So why not? Just put that right down, just like that. So cool. Doesn't that look rich? Okay, so I'm going to use Evening Evergreen, and I've got a sentiment here. It just says happy birthday, and it is from Wildflower Path, and it's just the happy birthday right there. So, and it's photopolymer, so we're going to be able to see through right down to what we're doing. Stamp straight down, straight up. So cool. Okay, and then just for something different, I'm going to just do it like that. Instead of making a point, I'm just changing my shape a little bit. So we'll adhere that down just like that. Grab a couple of dimensionals, probably 3, because that could get kind of saggy. And we don't want it to be saggy, right? Awesome. I love that. Okay, and now I've got some gold sequins. These are actually, they're on the going out, the retiring list. They're the Christmas sequins. So that's what these are. There are some gold ones, I'm just going to tell you, coming out in the new catalog too. So don't fear, we will have some gold sequins. So I'm going to put 3 of them on there. I guess that one likes that spot right there. I was actually thinking more like maybe up here. And then one more. I have big ones, so let's do one more maybe right down there. And so that's card number 1. Not too tough, right? That is a cool card. It is super striking. So if you want to take a screenshot, there are the dimensions of what you need. And we'll move on to card number 2. All right, so card number 2 is going to be using that beard die, and I'm going to show you a little trick I think is pretty cool. So I have got a 5.5 by 8.5. Oh, I forgot to put my inside in. I'm not going to stamp a sentiment on the inside right now, but most definitely you could totally stamp a sentiment. There's no problem with that. Good gravy. All right, there we go. I can so do this. There's card number 1. Now we're going to card number 2. It's like, why do I? Okay, squirrel. 5.5 by 8.5 basic black. I've got a piece of smoky slate that is 3.25 by 4.25. Another piece of basic black that is 3 by 4. And then for the inside, I just decided to do this one a little bit different. So I've got a piece of 4 by 5.25 smoky slate and a piece of basic white, 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to actually layer this on the inside. I wanted to do my inside fancy on this card. So let's do our cutting first. So I'm going to be kind of doing the same thought on this. I'm going to be covering this smoky slate piece up with the black. So instead of putting the adhesive sheet on the entire back of the gray of the smoky slate, I'm only going to be doing it on part. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to make a label out of the other, and I didn't want to have to cut through with my punch on through this. I just don't want the goo to get gooed up in my punch. I don't know if it would. I don't want to figure it out. So let's pull out this guy. So we're going to be using this beard, which I think is fun, and I think it's really cool that guys are totally into beards right now. I kind of wish I could grow a beard, because some days I think it'd be fun to hide my face behind some hair. But hey, I can't, and my husband can't either for his job. So we're going to put down our base number 1, plate number 2, plate number 3, our paper, our die, and our other plate number 3 on top. And I'm going to make sure that it is where I've got that piece of adhesive sheet. Okay? And the adhesive sheets come in, I believe, a pack of 12, and there's 6 by 12 sheets in there. So you get 12 6 by 12 sheets. That they actually last quite a long time. So they are a lot of fun. Okay, so there is my cutout there. So we're going to take that off, and I'm going to bring in my little brush. The thing about adhesive sheets that I will tell you on dies that are intricate, like some of the really intricate dies, more so like this one, sometimes the dies don't cut through the entire sheet. You might have to run it through more than once. If you were to take the adhesive backing off, it would pop right off. But the newer dies I have found have been a lot better, and the new cut and emboss machine is better than my old Big Shot. Just saying. I find that to be the case anyhow. So we are going to, there we go. There's our beard. It's kind of cute, right? So I've got this piece. We're going to use it as our mat, but we're also going to stamp on it. So I thought, I actually found this stamp in the He's All That stamp set. Hello Handsome with a mustache. And I thought, well, isn't that kind of convenient that we've got a mustache along with our beard? So I've got my Memento ink, and I've got my Hello Handsome stamp. I'm going to, when you stamp that down, just be mindful that you don't get too close, because you're going to need to have a edge around here to hide, right? To be matting behind our other black piece. So we've got that, and I am going to use my Label Me Fancy punch. And also, this stamp kind of slants upwards. So you need to, when you're putting it in here, you need to be mindful of that. And so kind of watch your mustache, and that is what you need to be straight. That's what you need to line up as straight. Make sense? Okay, we're gonna go for it. There we go. So I did not, that's really close. I didn't cut on my adhesive sheet, and I've got my little Hello Handsome label. So let's build our card. I'm going to put this on top of this, like that, and it hides all of my cutouts, right? Isn't that tricky? I love that trick. That is a paper saver right there. When I remember to do it. I'm not going to lie, I forget to do that quite often, but I try a lot to remember to do that. Unless you're going to be writing on it. So like the inside of the card, it wouldn't have been a good idea to cut much out of here, because then it makes writing on your card bumpy, right? So just be mindful of that. So now I'm going to take the backing off of my beard. I'm going to adhere that down, just like that. I wonder if I can make a Santa Claus card out of that. There's a thought. Make a Santa Claus beard. Okay, so we're going to fold our black cardstock. I'm going to use some dimensionals, I think. Yep. See, I'm telling you, never ever take a card maker's cards apart, because you never know what's back here. I should not. I got adhesive where I'm going to put a piece of scratch paper there. I just don't want it to stick down. Like when I press this down, I don't want this part to go down and like cave in my dimensionals, where I put my dimensionals. So we're hiding that. Hiding that adhesive. Okay, so let's take that off. Expose the adhesive on our dimensionals. All right, and then I think I'm going to put some dimensionals behind my Hello Handsome too. We'll just put one big one since I got it. Oh, that's cool. Top center just a smidge. Let's move it over. There we are. Okay, so I've got some matte dots, and these are classic matte dots. I think I've got the white ones and I've got black. Black is not going to show up, so we'll use white. I'm out of the gray. There's also gray in here, and I don't have any. So let's use white. Does that look okay? I think so. And I am a fan of threes. So there we go. There's our 3 dots. Very cool. I'm going to use that same happy birthday. Let's wash it off with my very well loved, this one's actually relatively clean, chamois. Let's pull in the Memento again. And my basic white, and I'm just going to do happy birthday right on there. Very cool. I love that sentiment. It's such a cool font. I love that stamp set because of the sentiments in it. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Words to live by, right? So let's adhere this onto this smoky slate. And then we'll put that on the inside of our card. Oh, that is just so cool. I love it. Awesome. So there is your screenshot if you want to take a screenshot of that so you have the dimensions and everything. All right. So I actually made, I have got, man alive, they're just flipping everywhere. Okay. I've got a couple other cards I've made. So this was another version of that. So I used, instead of the, I thought the gray looked kind of neat, but this also looked really neat. This is Cajun Craze. So it's the exact same card, only with Cajun Craze and Cajun Craze on the inside. And I thought that was really striking as well. I like that. Okay. And so then my inspiration for my early evergreen, evening evergreen, and early espresso, this is the same thing, only I used Mary Merlot and Night of Navy, and then I used gold embossing powder for the sentiment, and I thought that was really neat. I also bumped this whole thing up and put this flat, where this one I put flat and bumped up the sentiment. So that's a little different too. But I really like how they both turned out as well. And then using this die, this was the inspiration for my cards for using this set tonight. This was made by my good friend Brenda Springer. And I thought this was just a really simple and neat way to use that die. She cut out 2 of them. One of them she cut out with this, I believe that's So Saffron. And so then it's just the road that is highlighted. And then she cut the mountains and everything out in white and put that onto basic gray. So that is really cool. And this is actually a neat fun fold as well. So that's fun. And then I have one more card. And this one I cased it directly out of the catalog. This is the one that's on the page 82. And this was a labor of love. I cut out this mountain scene. I did this, so let's count here. I did it in black. I did it in gray granite. I did it in, what color is that? That color is Starry Sky. I did it in Daffodil Delight, and I did it in Old Olive and Soft Suede. So I cut that out 6 times. And I pieced all those pieces together. Here again, I used adhesive sheets because that is the best way, especially for the little pieces. By far the best way to adhere that down. The sentiment here is from He's the Man, that designer series paper. That sentiment comes right out of there. And then this roadmap stuff in the background is actually vellum, also from the annual catalog. So that was a lot of fun to actually make that card. So those are some of my inspiration for tonight. So I am going to flip the camera around and we will say goodnight. I've got a few things to talk about. I've got, if you are running late on gift ideas and you need some gifts, I've got some really great gift ideas from Stampin' Up! Kits. I have a lot of kits in stock. They range from, if they're crafting kits, I sell them for a straight $15 if you're local. That's kind of, it's a deal on shipping and tax, honestly. The ones that have the stamp sets and things like that, like this one here is the new Timeless Greetings. It's a very cool kit. I think it makes like it makes 8 cards. You get a stamp set with it. You get a you get everything you need. It's kind of like a paper pumpkin, but it'd be a great gift. And those are $25. I've also got gift certificates for me directly, and I've got gift certificates for Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. So you can purchase the Paper Pumpkin and give it out. So we've got some ideas for you. If you need some last minute gifts, let me know. Other than that, I've got a few spots open. I had a couple of cancellations. If you're local, Monday night, I'm having cards at Chris's in Gray Eagle. So I've got, I think, 2 or 3 spots open. I have to look. But if you'd like to attend that, it's at 6:30 to 8. Cost is $15 or free with a $25 Stampin' Up! Order. I would love to have you. Get a hold of me, let me know, and I would love to have you there. Otherwise, I hope you get some good crafting in this weekend and take time to celebrate the holidays and enjoy the holiday season. And I will see you back here next Friday night. Thanks. Bye-bye.